The modularity of the P320 has always been the major selling point. The fact that you have a single fire control unit that has the rails built in and is serialized means that you can have all these nice options in polymer grips that can allow you to change not only the configuration and the capacity of the magazine and the length of the rail and other things, but also can allow you to change the size of the grip itself. I've got my hands on a few really rare SIG P320 grips for the X line guns, the X carry and other guns that I wanted to share with you guys. So first of all, we have a couple of grips here that were actually, I believe these would be for law enforcement training, for contracts and things like that. And these are red and blue grips, and these are actually red and blue polymer. These are not something that's been Cerakoted, so they're this color throughout, and this would be for ammunitions and for other training guns as required for various, again, law enforcement military contracts. I have no idea whether these would ever be available directly from SIG like this, but either way, just want to show those. These are both medium-sized grips. Shipping right now, you can find white grips in both the full size and in the X carry size. Obviously this is one, if you're familiar with the sand colored magazines that Magpul has, that you can actually dye yourselves. It is the same idea here. I actually did one of these several months back and have a picture of that on my Instagram page actually. I used this graphite right dye for it. Just put it in a big pot of boiling water and let it go, dump the grip in there. I will say that the grip, when I put this graphite color right dye, the grip came out blue. So the pigment isn't a one-for-one, so be aware that you might want there be some trial and error with what color the grip will come out as, but this is something that should make it really easy to get different colors of grip at home with just very minimal effort. The right dye I think I got from Walmart, so that's easy to get, and it's a pretty cool project. And then we have the really interesting and really unique ones. I have some X carry grips here in small, medium, and large sizes. The different sizes, the small and the large, have not been available. They are not available still as of the time of recording this video, but was able to get them through some contacts I have. Again, I believe that SIG has had to deliver some different size grip modules, likely for different types of contracts, and so I can't tell you exactly when SIG would put these out to the public. I do know they intend to do that, but don't know what sort of timeline SIG has for any of it. But I wanted to give you a heads up that they are out there, or at least they exist, and will, I'm sure, be making their way out to the public sometime soon. Now, one of the most interesting things I've found about these grip modules is just looking at the size. I have some samples from the previous grip modules, of course, the first generation, and second generation of the P250 and 320 grips for different sizes. This is a small, this one's a medium, and actually the small especially, you can notice a pretty dramatic difference in shape. Now, the X carry grips in small, medium, and large, I find that they are not as dramatically different sizes as the previous generations were, and I believe that's because they're actually keeping compatibility with the same size of grip weight that goes back here, as well as with the same size of magazine well. So because of that, you have to have fixed space in the bottom, and you have to have that fixed space in the back strap channel, and so that does limit your ability to especially go really small front to back, as well as you need to keep a consistent width and just basically consistent profile down towards the bottom. So speaking about the width, whereas the previous grips did have some difference in width, as I look at a small grip here to a large grip, basically you're looking at the same size of width here across all of these various small, medium, and large X grips. Now, there is a difference when you look at both the material that's underneath the back of the beaver tail. There's less material here. I think this is about, about 5 to 10 hundredths that's less here on the back of the beaver tail, and then the profile of the beaver tail is also noticeably different. So again, looking here at a small You see you have a nice sort of straight line coming down from the bottom of the beaver tail down to where the magazine well would be. And then if you're looking at a large, they have much more of a palm swell coming out. So a more dramatic increase, obviously, in depth from here to here. I will say, just as a critique, I do think that there is some more room to remove material, especially on a small. I would have liked to, I think, see a little bit wider, a little bit more width on the larges and a little bit less on the smalls. And I have done a few jobs on smalls with the X carries where you can remove some material on the side and then do like a glue in grit or something like that. But overall, it does give you a better feel. If you want a little bit more grip, it definitely serves that purpose and fills up, for me, for my hand, better than the regular medium does. So again, really happy to see it. I'll be even more happy to see when SIG actually ships these out and they hit the market. Last thing I'll mention, I don't have one of the X compacts yet that was released at this last SHOT Show, but essentially I'll try to get another video up that shows how the conversion from a old school X-grip to one of the X compacts would go. But essentially you'd have this rear ledge that gets removed about right there, and that's something you could also do DIY if you have to. And then the beaver tail, where this is a very sharp beaver tail, it reprofiles it more to be like the old beaver tail, so it's not quite so sharp and pronounced, and so it comes up a little bit more, much like this old profile versus the current X5 profile. And that, of course, is all feedback that SIG has taken from lots and lots of end users, as well as SIG's pros, and it's a nice evolution on the X-grips, which were a really nice evolution from the previous first-gen P320 grips that are good for some things, but especially for competition, for what I do, the X-grips are much better. I hope that's useful, and hope you have a great night and enjoy shooting your SIGs.